Can you boil things down to their essence? That is of the utmost importance for success. And here's what I mean by this, right? If you have the goal of raising $1 million, a lot of times what happens is you say, I can do X to help me raise $1 million. And then you add to that and say, I can also do X to help me raise $1 million. And then you add to that and say, I can also do X. And then I can do X. And then I can do X. And then I can do X. Next thing you know, you have X's all over the place that you're trying to run from to try and accomplish this goal. And what you're doing is you're actually overcomplicating the process, right? You're adding ingredients into the process that are actually creating friction and slowing things down. And what you need to do, rather than having all of these ideas floating around, and they might all be good ideas, right? What you need to do is throw all of those ideas into a pot and boil them down to their essence and figure out, okay, how can I accomplish this goal with the least amount of friction, right? With the least amount of complication? How can I simplify this so much that it's a very, very easy process for me to engage in at a high rate, right? Very consistently over time. And that is what leads to success. And here's the temptation, right? Once you get to that simple boiled down process, the temptation is always to depart from that process, especially when you're not seeing results, right? When you start executing upon that simple boiled down process and you're not seeing initial results, the temptation is to add things in, right? To keep adding X and X and X and X. And next thing you know, you're back to having a very overcomplicated process that is actually draining more of your time and energy and adding too much friction to your process and keeping you from success. So it's very, very important to become really, really good at boiling things down to their essence, understanding how to do something with the least amount of friction possible, because that's how you can sustain a process over the long haul and get to the point of success.